What if I told you that 2,000 years ago, a wounded Roman soldier on a foreign battlefield didn't reach for a medic? He reached into a leather pouch on his belt, pulled out a handful of dried plants, and pressed them into a bleeding wound. No hospitals, no antibiotics, no sterile equipment, just the deep, ancient knowledge of what the earth had provided since the beginning of time. The Roman legions, the most disciplined military force the ancient world had ever seen, carried a battlefield medicine kit made entirely of plants. Plants they grew in camp gardens, foraged along marching routes, and passed down through generations of soldiers and healers. And here's what will amaze you. Modern science has gone back and looked at these plants, and one by one, it is confirming that the Roman soldiers were right. Today, I'm going to show you 10 of those forgotten battlefield plants, what they looked like, how the legions used them, and how you can use them right now, growing in fields and roadsides not far from where you're sitting. Stay with me, because number 7 on this list was called soldier's herb for 1,500 years. And modern clinical trials just proved exactly why. And number 10 was so powerful that when chemists tried to improve it, they accidentally made something worse. I'm the Earth Keeper, and this is the Earth Vault. Number 1 is yarrow, Achilles millefolium. The wound closer, the Roman name for yarrow, tells you everything. They called it the military herb. And if you understand what a battlefield looked like in 50 BC, you understand why. Yarrow is a feather-leafed perennial with flat-topped clusters of tiny white or pale pink flowers. It grows 2 to 3 feet tall along roadsides, meadows, and disturbed ground across North America and Europe. Crush a leaf and you'll smell something sharp, clean, and unmistakably medicinal. Legend says Achilles himself used this plant to stop the bleeding of his soldiers at Troy, which is exactly how it earned its scientific name. Achilles, Roman field medics, would pack crushed yarrow leaves directly into open wounds to stop hemorrhaging. They also brewed it as a fever tea during long campaigns in cold northern territories. Modern studies confirm yarrow is a genuine hemostatic. It shortens bleeding time. It also contains real anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial compounds. If you're hiking and cut yourself with nothing else available, crush fresh yarrow leaves and press them firmly to the wound. Keep a small jar of dried yarrow in your first aid kit. Safety note: avoid during pregnancy. Some people experience skin sensitivity. Always identify positively before use. Number 2 is plantain weed, Plantago major. The soldier's bandage. This is the plant you've stepped over 1,000 times without knowing you were walking past one of the most effective first aid remedies on earth. Plantain weed, not the banana. The humble weed grows flat to the ground in lawns, trails, and disturbed soil everywhere. It has oval, ribbed leaves with parallel veins and sends up thin flower spikes. Once you see it, you'll see it everywhere. Roman physicians documented plantain extensively. Soldiers chewed the leaves and packed the pulp into wounds to stop bleeding and prevent infection on the march. When cloth was unavailable, Roman field surgeons used it as a living bandage. A clinical trial showed plantain ointment outperformed standard treatment on second-degree burns. Take a fresh leaf, crush it or briefly chew it, and press it directly to a cut, insect bite, or sting. Pain and swelling begin to drop within minutes. Safety note: use clean leaves from areas not treated with pesticides. For serious wounds, always seek medical care. Number 3 is calendula. Calendula office in the war flower. Medieval soldiers who inherited Roman battlefield knowledge carried dried calendula flowers into war for one purpose: to keep wounds from going bad when there was no surgeon within 50 miles. Calendula is the cheerful orange and yellow pot marigold that blooms from spring through frost in almost any garden. Roman physicians used calendula-infused oil as an antiseptic wound dressing. The flowers were grown in camp gardens specifically for this purpose, wherever the legions established long-term positions. Modern clinical trials confirm calendula extract speed wound healing, including burns and surgical wounds. Make a simple salve. Fill a jar with dried flowers, cover with olive oil, steep for 4 to 6 weeks, strain, and melt in a small amount of bees. Apply to cuts, scrapes, burns, and inflamed skin. Safety note: avoid if allergic to ragweed or chrysanthemums. Number 4 is comfrey, the bone knitter. Roman soldiers called it the plant that could knit the body back together. And they used it for exactly that: broken bones, torn muscles, and deep tissue injuries. Comfrey is a large perennial with broad, hairy leaves and drooping bell-shaped flowers in purple, pink, or white. It grows in moist areas, along streams, and in herb gardens. The root is dark and carrot-shaped, Roman military physicians applied comfrey root poultices to broken bones, sprains, and torn tissue. The folk name knit bone comes directly from this Roman tradition. Multiple modern clinical trials confirm topical comfrey root extract significantly reduces pain and improves healing in sprains and muscle injuries. Make a salve from the infused root oil and beeswax. Apply to sprains, bruises, and muscle strains. Safety note: external use only. Do not apply to open wounds. Do not ingest. Not for use during pregnancy. Number 5 is garlic. Allium, the battlefield antibiotic. Before antibiotics existed, there was garlic. And Roman soldiers knew this in a way that modern medicine has only recently rediscovered. Roman legions consumed garlic daily as part of their standard ration, not just for flavor, because military physicians understood it fought infection and maintained stamina on long campaigns. Crushed garlic was packed into wounds to prevent the infection that killed more soldiers than enemy blades. Pliny, the Elder, documented over 60 medical uses of garlic in his natural history. Garlic contains allicin, a sulfur compound with documented antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal properties. Crush or chew raw garlic. Allicin is only activated by breaking the cell walls. For wound care, crushed garlic mixed with raw honey creates a powerful topical antimicrobial. Safety note: can interact with blood-thinning medications. Topical use may irritate sensitive skin. Number 6 is mullein. Verbus, the lung protector. Roman campaigns took soldiers from Mediterranean warmth into the damp cold of Britain, the Rhineland, and the Carpathian Mountains. And with that cold came chest infections, the silent killer of military campaigns. Mullein is the tall plant with fuzzy, silvery gray leaves and a spike of yellow flowers. You've seen it growing in vacant lots and roadsides. It can reach 6 feet tall. Roman soldiers used mullein leaf tea for respiratory congestion, deep coughs, and chest colds during cold weather campaigns. The leaves contain saponins that act as natural helping you cough up mucus rather than letting it sit and deepen into infection. Steep a tablespoon of dried leaves in hot water for 10 minutes, strain carefully through cheesecloth, and drink 2 to 3 times daily during a chest cold. Safety note: strain the tea thoroughly. The leaf hairs can irritate the throat if not removed. Number 7 is woundwort. Stachys sylvatica, the soldier's herb. This plant was called soldier's herb for 1,500 years. And if a plant earns that name and keeps it for 15 centuries, there is a reason. Hedge woundwort is a perennial herb with toothed, heart-shaped hairy leaves and spikes of dark purplish-red flowers. It grows in hedgerows, forest edges, and disturbed ground. Exactly the terrain where Roman legions campaigned. Dioscorides, the Roman military physician who wrote the most influential herbal medicine texts of the ancient world, specifically documented woundwort for treating battlefield wounds. Roman field surgeons applied crushed leaves as a poultice to cuts and lacerations to reduce inflammation and promote healing. Modern research has confirmed genuine wound healing and antimicrobial properties in Stachys species. Crush fresh or dried leaves and apply as a poultice to minor cuts and skin inflammation. You can also prepare a strong tea of the dried herb to use as an antiseptic wound wash. Safety note: identify positively before use. Seek professional care for deep or serious injuries. Number 8 is elderberry. Sambucus nigra, the camp medicine tree. Wherever Roman legions established permanent camps, one tree was planted or sought out nearby. Not for timber, not for shade, for medicine. Elder is a large shrub or small tree producing creamy white flowers in early summer and heavy bunch of deep purple-black berries in late summer. Pliny the Elder documented elder across multiple medical uses in his natural history. Roman camp physicians used elderberry preparations for fevers, pain, and immune support during disease outbreaks, which were a constant threat to large concentrations of troops in close quarters. Modern clinical research shows elderberry extract significantly reduces the duration and severity of influenza. Make elderberry syrup. Simmer 2 cups of dried berries in 4 cups of water for 45 minutes. Mash, strain, and add raw honey when cooled. A tablespoon daily during cold and flu season is supported by real evidence. Safety note: raw elderberries, leaves, and bark are toxic. Always cook before consumption. Never eat raw berries. Number 9 is hyssop. Hyssop, the purification herb. The Romans didn't use the word antiseptic, but they understood the concept completely, and hyssop was their answer to it. Hyssop is a small, woody perennial herb with narrow aromatic leaves and spikes of vivid blue-purple flowers. It smells sharp, herbal, and medicinal. something between mint and oregano. Roman soldiers used hyssop for wound cleansing and respiratory ailments. The herb was so central to purification practices across the ancient world, appearing in Roman, Greek, and biblical traditions alike, that this cross-cultural consensus speaks to something real. Modern research confirms hyssop contains compounds with genuine antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral effects. Make a strong hyssop tea from the dried flowering tops for chest coughs and sore throats. Use cooled tea as a wound wash. It has been earning its place in medicine gardens for more than 2,000 years. Safety note: not recommended during pregnancy. Do not use hyssop essential oil internally. Only tea preparations. Number 10 is meadowsweet Filipendula om, the original aspirin. This is the plant I saved for last because meadowsweet doesn't just represent ancient medicine. It represents the moment when the modern world took nature's perfect formula, tried to improve it, and accidentally made it worse. Meadowsweet is a perennial wildflower growing in damp meadows and along streams. It produces clouds of creamy white, fragrant flowers in midsummer. The scent is sweet and slightly almond-like. Celtic Druids considered it one of their 3 most sacred herbs. Roman soldiers crossing into Gaul and Britain encountered local healers using it for pain, fever, and the stomach ailments that plagued marching armies, and Roman physicians adopted it completely. Here is the extraordinary story of this plant. Meadowsweet contains salicylates, the same compounds aspirin was derived from. When chemists synthesized aspirin in the 19th century, they based it on salicylic acid found in meadowsweet and willow bark. But here is the twist. The pharmaceutical industry never advertised. Meadowsweet does not cause the stomach irritation that aspirin does. In fact, traditional herbalists specifically used it to soothe stomach inflammation while relieving pain. The whole plant contains buffering compounds that protect the stomach lining, compounds that were removed when chemists isolated just one molecule and called it medicine. Modern studies confirm anti-inflammatory and gastroprotective properties. Brew the dried flowers as a pleasant sweet-scented tea for headaches, fever, and joint pain. Safety note: contains natural salicylates. Avoid if sensitive to aspirin. Not for use in children with viral illnesses. Do not use if taking blood thinners. 10 plants, 2,000 years of battlefield testing. These were not folk tales or superstitions. These were the field-tested remedies of the most sophisticated military and medical culture the ancient world had produced. Roman military physicians were trained professionals who documented what worked and discarded what didn't. Because in war, there was no room for wishful thinking. And one by one, modern science has gone back and confirmed they were right. The plants are still here, growing in ditches and meadows and forgotten corners of gardens, waiting with the same patience they have always had for us to stop underestimating what they offer. You don't need a Roman legion to benefit from this knowledge. You need a small patch of garden, a few glass jars, and the willingness to reconnect with something our ancestors understood deeply. Start small. Plant one of these this season. Learn its name. Learn its story. Let it become part of your life the way it was part of theirs. Nature's waiting. It has always been waiting. I'm the Earth Keeper, and this has been the Earth Vault. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because next week we're going even deeper into the forgotten world of plant medicine, and the knowledge waiting there will genuinely change the way you see the world around you.